Ow. Oh.
Please, have mercy.
We've told you everything we know.
Scram, it's not you I'm interested in.
Oh, have mercy on my soul. I guess I'm wrong for this character. Schmitty here, and I'm just going to go ahead and cover Paimon up with a tweet from Genshin. Now, this is the official stuff that you'll need to farm for Yelan, as far as weekly, normal boss drops, different flowers, the gems, of course, that every character needs, and etc. So, that's no news, right? That's nothing new. That's not what I want to show you guys today. What I want to show you guys today is the rest of the stuff you'll need to prepare for when Yelan comes out. Weapons. Now, I'm going to list this off a little bit differently because we all have different kinds of Genshin accounts, okay? I'm going to list 2 5-star options that'll be great on Yelan, and then 2 4-star options that'll be great on Yelan. The first is her signature weapon, which is covering Child right now. Now, I don't really have anything but this picture to go off of stats, but knowing holdovers, I can barely believe that they're even going to try to give you something that's not going to be tailor-made for Yelan. So I don't really even think that we have to mention it. But if you're rolling for her weapon, it's probably going to be good on her. LG for the end is the other 5-star option. Now, with the passive, it procs off of Elemental Skill or Elemental Burst hits. Now, Yelan is dubbed the 5-star Xingqiu, and if her burst works anything like Xingqiu's, it's going to proc this, and it's going to do it often. So I think this weapon's going to be fantastic for her as a support for your team. Not to mention the energy recharge second stat on it, which I will go into more depth with the artifacts. 4-star weapons. Now, I think Stringless is going to be a no-brainer. Now, unfortunately, the Elemental Mastery is next to a dead stat on her, unless you're proccing Reverse Vape with her, but it does boost a lot of Elemental Burst and skill damage when you have high refinements. So I think this weapon's going to be pretty good for her. The Vivoni's Bow, and the Sacrificial Bow. Now I know, sorry guys, that's 3 weapons, not 2, but I kind of count these as the same. These are support-style weapons, and I think that they're going to be great on Yelan, as far as with the energy recharge and supporting your team with energy. So for the Sacrificial Bow, if you're running more than one Hydro character on the team, you'll be able to battery for other characters. With the Vivoni's Bow, as long as you crit, you'll be able to proc energy for the rest of your team. Now I think that this is going to be pretty good for support Yelan since her burst works off-field. And while she's critting, you'll give energy to the character that's on-field, usually your main DPS. Now there's one weapon I didn't list. That's because I don't have it in this account. So let me hop into my free-to-play. Free-to-play account here, Recurve Bow. Now, it's a 3-star weapon, I do understand, but it's the only bow, and I mean it, the only bow I could find that has HP percent as its second stat. So, I don't necessarily think the passive is anything to write home about, and I think it's going to be a non-factor. But if you're purely looking at running just HP percent on Yelan, couldn't go wrong with this one. Artifacts. This one goes in a little bit more in-depth as to a bunch of different sets that you could use on her, but I'm going to go ahead and list 3 different artifact sets that I think will be beneficial to her. Tenacity to Millilith. Now, I think the set's going to be fine on her, at least the 2-piece set, because an extra 20% HP is going to be great on her. And they teased her as running off of HP percent for some of her damages for her skill and her burst, so I think this is going to be a no-brainer as a 2-piece, and it should work on her. The 4-piece, however, I don't necessarily think is going to be great on her because you don't proc multiple elemental skills to the best of my knowledge, based on the trailer that was given. So I don't think you're going to keep very high uptime on the passive for this. Heart of Depth. Now the 2-piece set gives you an extra 15% Hydro bonus damage. I think this is going to be a fine artifact set for her. The 4-piece, however, is the jury's still out, because I don't know if she's going to be a auto attacker in general, and if you're building HP percent on her, and every character traditionally has their auto attack scaling off attack percent, I don't necessarily think this is going to be the best option for her. But who knows, maybe there's a crazy constellation that's going to make her busted, and this might be her best artifact set for that crazy constellation. Again, jury's still out. Emblem of Severed Fate. Now I think if she works anything like Xingqiu, and she's dubbed the 5-star Xingqiu, I think that this is going to be a perfect set on her. And not to mention, with the other weapons that I listed that have energy recharge as a second stat, that's only going to increase your burst damage with the 4-piece set. Now again, you could probably run a 2-piece set if you have really good substats, but I would only recommend running the emblem if you're going to be able to run a full 4-piece set on her. Well, now that we covered different artifact sets we could use, let's look at the substats that we're looking most for. Plume and Flower. These both, obviously, you're looking for crit rate and crit damage. As for any DPS or sub-DPS in the game, those are like the high priority stuff. Second stats that you're looking for is HP percent, energy recharge, and maybe Elemental Mastery in case you get the occasional reverse fate proc, but I wouldn't necessarily plan on that. The Saiyans. Now, I'm personally going to go HP percent, since according to all of the stuff that Hoyoverse released on Yelan, most of her kit's going to be scaling off of HP percent. If you're running a Emblem of Severed Fate and you have an energy recharge Saiyans, that's not going to be a terrible choice. Just make sure you're not going above the 300 energy recharge, which is the cap for the 75% bonus damage on your burst. Goblet. Now I'm going to run a Hydra bonus damage Goblet. You can run an HP percent Goblet, but I personally think that that's realming a little bit too close into diminished returns, and you get more benefit out of a Hydra bonus if you're running her as a sub-DPS. Circlet. Now I think you're going to be running either a crit rate or a crit damage circlet based on your personal crit rate, crit damage, and what would benefit you the most. The substats you're looking for is obviously HP percent, the other crit value, and then energy recharge and elemental mastery aside from that. Now it is to note, you can run an HP percent circlet, but I wouldn't do so unless you have insanely high CV on your stats, on the other pieces, and or your circlet has 40 plus CV as an HP percent circlet. I still have not seen one of those because, let's be honest, I haven't rolled one. Disclaimer, Yelan isn't out yet, so not all of this is 100% accurate, and more information will be available when she comes out. However, based off of the leaks from Hoyoverse themselves and other sources, I think it's safe to say that this is going to be a generally good bet for your artifact sets and stat distribution. But anyways, if you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.